Connie Hancock, Extension Educator with the University of Nebraska.
And I'm Mark Hendricks, System Administrator at CIT at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln.
Welcome to the Security Squad series on backing up and storing your computer data to prevent loss.
This should be a great topic because I've had issues with losing data. Once I left my backup tapes in my car because I left them on the electric seats of my car, and it was winter. I turned on my heat. I lost all the data. Another time I was sending a fax during a thunderstorm and my house was hit by lightning. My computer hard drive was fried. That time I was lucky because I just backed up everything I needed and only had to recreate a few invoices.
Mark, those are some really good examples. It shows how important backups are because accidents really do happen. Making regular backups of your data and storing it securely is something we all need to do. And there are a variety of ways to back up information. Let's discuss the reasons why we back up certain computer information and how to go about doing that.
Sure. If you haven't lost any data by now, it's a strong possibility it will happen to you in the future. There's a saying that there's only two kinds of hard drives, those that have failed and those that will. Anyone who works for any amount of time on a computer is apt to suffer some sort of data loss. If it's not from a hard drive failure, it might be from a virus or from a brownout. Maybe there's a natural disaster like a tornado or a lightning strikes your property. Water or fire damage can destroy your technology equipment. There's also a chance of someone stealing your equipment. Just think of the horrors of losing a month's worth of work for a client to a lightning strike, or accidentally deleting all your customer contacts, or a virus attacks your computer and locks up your data right before a major deadline. I've seen this happen many times. It's not only frustrating, but it's also very costly to lose data. Just figure up how much it would cost to recreate that information in staff time, downtime, and all the customers you're potentially losing. It adds up quickly.
Oh my, yes it can. You know, I recall a recent study from the Gartner Group, which was a major market research firm, where 50% of the small businesses that experience a major data loss go out of business within a year. That's huge. So Mark, what can a person do to protect their data?
Well, backing up the data to an external source is a very good and manageable solution. There are many different ways a person can back up data. First, determine the critical loss point or how long the business can go without computer use. This will help an owner decide how often the backup needs to be done and how it should be stored. For example, if the business enters a few invoices once a week and doesn't use the computer for daily records, then the system probably only needs to be backed up once a week or maybe once a month. However, if daily sales, inventory levels, customer orders, and critical projects are used daily, then the system will need to be backed up daily. Waiting a week to back up heavy data use can be a critical mistake.
Okay, so let's pretend that I have a heavy use system that requires backing up every day. Is there an automated process that can help me get this done easily?
Yes, the latest Windows and Mac operating systems come with programs to automate the backup and restore processes for you. You do have to set it up, but if you have an older system, you can also purchase some inexpensive software that can back up, compress, and encrypt your files and later restore them. A backup plan should rely on a multi-layer system that allows for both full and incremental backups. This creates another layer of precaution in case one system fails. If you plan to back up daily, you will want to have 2 or 3 tapes, disks, flash drives, or an external drive that you can rotate between rotate the backups with. For example, use your disk labeled Daily Backup for your nightly backup. On Friday, you then back up the entire week's worth on another system which would be labeled Weekly Backup. You will not back up your entire system during these incremental backups, just the files that were changed during that time frame.
Mark, you know, that really makes sense to me. Having multiple layers can help protect a business owner from any one system going down due to a failed drive. Is there ever a time when a business owner should back up the whole entire system?
There's a lot of disagreement as to whether a person should back this system up entirely. The argument is that the business owner will have copies of the computer operating system and software programs, and therefore does not need to back these programs up or on an external backup. On the other hand, many computers now include downloaded software programs that have no external disk. If your computer goes down, there could be a lot of time reloading the files, and that's provided you can find your access codes and key codes, and you can gain access online. If you've completed an inventory of your software, as recommended in the inventory episode, this may not be an issue for you. Remember, to save backup space, you only need to store the data that is not software, such as address books, Word documents, bookkeeping files, spreadsheets, and databases, or your image files.
There really are a lot of different methods of backing up files. Let's look at a USB flash drive.
All right, USB flash drives like this one are an option because they can hold a lot of data, some up to 20 gigs. They're reasonably priced and they keep going down and don't take up very much space. But there are some key issues with USB flash drives. They are small, they can easily walk away or get stolen or get lost. If you drop one, there's a chance that you could step on it and lose your data too. They are not as reliable as we'd hope.
Well, that's too bad. Are DVDs a good option?
DVDs I like a lot more than flash drives. They're really inexpensive these days, and you can use a different one each time you back up and have multiple copies in case one of your DVDs would get damaged. Again, you need to make sure you store those DVDs in a safe place, like a fireproof safe, or off-site and in a safety deposit box, or somewhere at your home. The next level would be an external hard drive, like something like this. They're now they work great because they hold a lot of data and they're really easy to use. They are now external hard drives that enable you to make an entire copy of your PC hard drive, operating systems, programs, data, and everything. This is not necessary, but it's worth considering doing once or twice a year. With all these systems, once you've backed up your files, double check and make sure they actually got backed up. Here we have, like I said, this is an external USB drive. It holds about 250 gigs. And there's also pocket drives like this. This one happens to hold 60 gigs. The nice aspect of the pocket drive is it can be stored in your pocket, but also in a safety deposit box.
A really convenient way to store the information off-site might be to use an online backup system like Moxie, Carbonite, PC Backup, SugarSync, or BoxNet. Companies like Hewlett-Packard, Dell, and Quicken also offer customer data storage. You pay a monthly or a yearly subscription to these services and can make them regularly scheduled backup to your server. If you have some sort of data loss, you go to their site, download the files back to your computer.
Yes, this method has advantages because you don't have to worry about your backup DVDs or drives going bad because of the offsite storage companies store their data on more than one server. You also don't have to physically take your backup drives to a different location. But the disadvantages are, of these online systems is that it does take bandwidth to upload and download the files. And you also have to make sure your computer is connected to the internet during the pre-scheduled backup times. One consideration when looking at an online backup service is their level of encryption security. Make sure that they have end-to-end encryption, which means the data is encrypted when it's transmitted or leaves your computer and when it's stored on the server.
Mark, this is really great information on how to back up a system. Now, what happens if my files have been corrupted by a virus or I lose data in another way?
Well, you can restore a file, the entire directory, or the whole contents of your computer according to what you need, and maybe what the virus has done to your computer. You'll have to follow the instructions for each system. For example, if you have to completely wipe your hard drive, you'll have to then use the Restore CDs to reinstall your operating system. From there, you could use the Restore program built into the operating system to restore your files.
Wow. Thanks, Mark. You have really provided a lot of information about backing up and its importance. Make sure you check out the security section of the security plan and backing up your important Office data. This is the Security Squad signing out. Remember, don't gamble with your business.
Protect your data.